Hello there, welcome to class. I'm Miss Faust. Do you have paper available? Yes, you do. Fantastic. You are ready to take some notes. Wait a minute. What about your pen or your pencil? Oh, there it is. Great. Yes, I'm going to go over the highlights of Chinua Achebe's Marriage is a Private Affair. Are you ready? What? Oh, you're still getting your paper. Okay, let me go get my book. You ready now? Let's do it. As I was trying to hint last class time, just looking at that title, it's a perfect sentence, isn't it? Marriage is, okay, we have a subject, we have the verb. Marriage is a private affair. Okay, so let's look at that. It tells you a lot. Marriage is a private affair. So when two people are getting married, whom does it involve? Yes, those two people. So if you are starting to think, just looking at the title and thinking of like strategies, and you're trying to make guesses, and if that's your guess, you're right on the correct track, aren't you? Because the story does talk about that. In a sense, it is a theme. Now, I didn't put that up on the board. I put some other themes up on the board, but it's truly a theme. Marriage shouldn't involve, according to Achebe in the story, shouldn't involve anyone but, anyone but those two people who are getting married. Now, do we have that here in this story? Let's check and see. So we start out, we're talking in Lagos, which is the city. Okay, it's a relatively big city, very modern, and we've got Nene, the girl, and then we have the guy. I'm going to call him N because I don't want to I don't want to butcher the poor man's name. So it's Nnaemeka. So it would be, let me see, Nenemeka. But let's just call him N to be, better, So they're talking about the fact that they want to get married. And then he's trying to explain to N that he needs to share this news with the father. And of course, the young man is saying to her, well, you don't really know my father. It's not going to be that easy. And she's coming back with, well, who wouldn't be excited to hear that his son is getting married? Well, you come from Lagos, the city, and I come from a tribe. Okay, so yes, he is coming from the tribe, and it's Igbo, I-B-O. And again, remember that Achebe is from the tribe, and there are different versions of the spelling. I-G-B-O, as I showed you last time, versus I-B-O. Either one. Okay, so you could refer, because of the story, it refers to as I-B-O, as Igbo, that's fine. Or you can refer to it as Igbo, which is the version of where he himself was born. Whichever one you want. And I come from this tribe, so we do things a little differently. Okay, and she's thinking, well, why don't you write him, or just share it with him and write him? And he's going, no, it wouldn't be a good thing to write him. So we're left with this little problem here, that there seems to be some kind of issue with him marrying this girl, that the father would not take it lightly, or would be going, oh great, congratulations, hug, and all this. Okay, so then we move from the city to the tribe, to the little village, Ibu, and we learn that the father has written him a letter. This is before he returns to the village. And we get the idea that he is on leave. And is on leave, so he's most likely in the military. You got to understand again, Nigeria, one of those days, was going through a lot of wars, a lot of battles. So quite often the men were, it was just part of their lives. They just, at a certain age, when they were old enough to understand, they went right into the military and being soldiers and the like. So most likely that is, Achepi never comes out clearly and says, yes, he's military, but it does make reference to being on leave. That is most likely what he's doing. He is on leave from his duties, his military duties. Again, because of the wars, and especially the strife, the battles between tribes, quite often, and with other nations, other African nations. So yes. So he received a letter in which his father explains that he chose his future wife. Okay, she has a proper Christian upbringing. She worked she kept the house for a pastor, so she's very domestic, and she reads her Bible and the like. And they need to do negotiations. When they get married and all this and this. So that's another problem. Now we can see right here. The father chose the future wife. Could that be the issue? Could that be a conflict in Achepi's story? Remember again, we're talking about a tribe, Ibu, versus a modern city, namely Lagos. Lagos is up to date. Okay? All right? You can tell from Nene that there is no, if you want to get married, you get married. There's no issue with it. People just get excited. Oh, you're getting married. That's great. Whereas the boy is coming from a family where, no, it's not great. Because dad chooses the woman. I can't just go out and do it. I just can't go and choose the woman for myself. Marriage is a private affair. See? Title. Okay, so here he is trying to share this information with his father once he's back. And of course his father, it's about the marriage question. And he can't marry her, the man's daughter. And he says, I don't love her. And the father's like, who cares? You don't need to love her. It's all right. Nobody said you did. Why should you? Marriage today is different. Nothing is different. What one looks for in a wife are a good character and a Christian background. Does everyone understand? This is the way to select. Good background. Very much domestic, Christian, of the tribe. This girl that he has chosen is Ugoye, is of the Ibu tribe. And that's the way this tribe does it. Because if it didn't, the tribe would eventually die out. You notice, people in the African nations would leave. The young people would leave because there are no choices, no possibilities in their countries. So they would leave so they would have a better life. And that's what you're seeing here. He wants something better, the son. He doesn't want to be told, this is the woman you're going to marry. End of story. She's domestic. She can read her Bible. Great character. She's of your tribe. You're fine. You got it. No. He wants something better. He wants to have someone that he loves in his life. So, father's looking at it going, wait, no. He's coming from the tribe aspect. The tribe is going to die out if his son doesn't keep it going, the tradition going. This is what was passed down from Okeke, the father, his father, his family. They pass it down. That the parents are the ones who choose. They're the ones. That way the tribe continues on. It doesn't die out. Because, of course, the city is going to appeal to the young. Isn't it? Opportunities. You can do what you want to do. You're independent of others. They're not going to decide for you. You do your own thing. She's a good Christian and a teacher. When he hears that, is what? Teacher, did you say? If you consider that a qualification for a good wife, I'd like to point out to you that no Christian woman should teach. There is none of that in this tribe. If anyone teaches, it's going to be the man. No, the woman is in the house, which quite often is not really that much. It could be considered to be very shabby, more like a hut. But the woman stays there and does her duties, gives birth to children, raises them, sets the table, make sure there's food. Okay, make sure they go to get education from the teacher in the tribe. Okay, and make sure everything's clean and is ready for the husband at the end of the day, the meal. Yes, that all about domesticity. Okay, Christian because of their beliefs, very religious. Okay, so he finds out that that the woman he wants to marry, that his son wants to marry, is not of the tribe. She's a teacher, and from the city. And no. So right away, the father turns from that. He says, he basically tells his son that, I don't want to meet her. I don't want to see her. I don't want to know about her. I'm never going to meet her. And of course, the son said, you'll change your mind. You'll want to see her. She's a fantastic person. Nope. And so he wants nothing to do even with his son. He basically pushes his son out of his life. And that affects the son. Because it's a hard thing. And he's got to share that with Nene. That your father-in-law does not want to meet you. He doesn't care about you. Okay? So obviously, Okeke shares this news with other people in the tribe, mainly men, and they're all on his side. No, we can't do that. That's not the proper way to do it. This and this, and the like. And, they get married. Obviously, the father didn't attend. Okay. She sends a picture. She's a wonderful woman. She doesn't say anything bad about the father-in-law. She respects him. Okay, he doesn't want to meet her. Okay, that's fine. I'm not going to get upset about it. They send a picture, with the son and his daughter-in-law. Of course, he cuts out the daughter-in-law because he wants nothing to do with her. And again, he basically booted out his son out of his life. And the only time he sees him is when he occasionally is on leave and he stops by and stays overnight. So he doesn't even really see his son. He doesn't want anything to do with them. And the wife, Nene, she takes that to heart. But she doesn't disrespect the father. She doesn't say nasty things about him and say, hey, I don't want you seeing your father either. If he doesn't want to see me, you're not going to see him either. She doesn't do that. Okay. The people around them, they realize she takes care of her family. She takes care of the house. And people start realizing, hey, she's a really nice person. They begin to make friends. The people in the village, they're not mean to her, but they're like, eh. But then, as time goes by, they start making friends, Nene and her husband. And the father starts learning about it and everything. And then one day he gets a note, if you remember this, saying that, wow, he has grandchildren. Did he know that? Did he? No, he did not know that. Has he ever seen Nene? No. Okay, I never saw her. Never. And, there was such prejudice against the son's marriage at the start, even though the women wouldn't try to make it so obvious, but they still kept their distance. But as they started realizing they were really fine people, but the father can't seem to do that. Okay. He can't. He wants his tradition to go on. He's not able to move beyond the old ways. He's not able to move to the new. Go with the new. Okay. He learns that he has grandchildren. 2 grandsons. They want to meet him. When his son comes to meet him, she never goes with. Again, respects that of her father-in-law. He doesn't want to see her. Okay, fine. She respects him in this sense. Please let them come and see you. I won't come, but at least you can see them. Okay. So we're talking, time has gone. We're talking 8 years. For 8 years, Okeke would have nothing to do with his son. Only 3 times. And asked to come home and spend his leave. Did he write to him? I can't have you in my house. It can be of no interest to me where or how you spend your leave or your life for that matter. But at least he every so often did come. Okay. So 8 years have gone by. He's getting older, the grandfather. Time's flying. Hasn't seen his daughter-in-law rarely sees his son, and never saw his grandchildren. Is he going to have that opportunity? He's starting to think when he gets this. So in the end, it's pretty powerful. The sky is overcast, it's raining, and he has a vision of these two children, these two boys, standing at the door of his hut, knocking, going, let us in, and he's just going, no, 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 okay, because he can't. But toward the end, he does feel remorse. He does start feeling bad, because he's looking at it going, what's the chance I could be gone tomorrow? I may never see them. What have I done? So that's really powerful. At the end, it began to rain, the first rain in the year. It's trying hard not to think of his two grandsons. Okay, so all that rain, that vision. Okay, his mind immediately returned to the children. How could he shut his door against them? Okay. By a curious mental process, he imagined them standing, sad and forsaken, under the harsh, angry weather, shut out from his house. That night he hardly slept from remorse, because, he might die without making it up to them. So that's very powerful. So Achebe, in the last two paragraphs, you could say two paragraphs. The old man at once felt the resolution he had built up over so many years falling in. He was telling himself that he must not give in. Again, he knows that now that he knows there are grandchildren, he doesn't want to give in. He just doesn't. He's so stubborn, isn't he? But Achebe uses so much imagery in the last two paragraphs. You can really truly see those children and knocking in the rain. Let us in, Grandpa, let us in. And he's going, no. And yet at the same time, he can't even sleep because he feels so bad. He feels so bad. And Achebe is so good in making that come out so clear. What a sad situation it is, isn't it? Let me look and see if there's anything else I want to add to that. So, again, realize that his son and daughter-in-law, they did have issues because their marriage, one was a city person, one was a tribe. So there is prejudice against them. But as I said, it is overcome, slowly but surely. Just OKK can't get over it. He wants to hold on so tight to tradition, the old traditions. Okay, because if he doesn't, then it's going to die out. It's a tradition in his family that he as a parent helps to choose, well actually does the choosing of the wife. Notice there's no mention whatsoever of his wife. Again, Achebe, it's not that the wife doesn't really play much of a role. So it's not important for her to be in the story. Okay. Let me see if there's anything else. Okay. And when you think about it, OKK and N, his son, they're so alike, aren't they? They're both stubborn. OKK, nope, not going to see her. And N, nope, I'm getting married to Nene. You're not stopping me. They have that in common. And people might really be upset with OKK. Say he's nasty. He's a nasty old man. But remember how he grew up. Tribal traditions. Powerful in nations like Nigeria. What else? And as I pointed out, imagery is so strong, especially at the end. And when you look at her values, Nene's values, again, respect. She has respect for her father-in-law. She does not talk bad about him. Okay. She may not be able to truly understand where he's coming from, but she doesn't knock it. All right. Let's look at some themes. Tradition, as we've talked about quite a lot. We are following tradition. It's, how do I want to say it? There was a, let me see how I want to say it. Tribal society versus city life. Look at it that way. Tribal society versus city life. Control. OKK wants to hold on to that control that he has as a parent over his son, and he sees that it's not happening because his son, I'm doing what I want to do, because he's not got a flavor, a taste of what it's like to be a part of the city. He's gone away from the old ways, the old customs. Conflict, yes, we can see the conflict OKK has with his son. That, again, tradition. Eve is more important to him than his love of his son. And his son, he wants to taste that freedom, be independent of his father, the old ways, be a part of the new way. And most likely, the story went on, they would raise their grandsons. One moment. They would raise their grandsons very much modern. Stubbornness, we've talked about that. They're both stubborn. Father and son, they're stubborn, very much so. Remorse, we see him feeling bad at the end because he realizes 8 years have passed by. He's getting old. Time's just flying by, and there's a chance that he may not wake up and he'll never have met his grandsons. Was it worth it? In his mind, was it worth it? And gender roles, yes, gender roles. For the Igbo, the women, yes, they kept to their traditional roles, as we already talked about. The house, this is your area. The children, that's it. Everything else is the man. You don't teach, you just raise my kids. And make sure I have dinner on the table. Okay? Any questions? Let me know if you do. Let's talk about your assignment, which, by the way, is due today. Let me hold on to it because I'm so close. I want to talk about it. Your topic is discuss 3 conflicts in Achebe's story. So 3 conflicts. Again, you're going to do paragraph 1, 3 questions. Do not forget, in question 1, I need to see Chinua Achebe's name along with the title in quotation marks. Please capitalize the is. Follow the PA formula. Determine 3 conflicts that are dealt with in the story. Focus on man versus man, man versus self. Think about those conflicts. Man versus man, son and father, for instance. Man versus self, father and himself. Okay, and him, and what he's thinking inside. I'm doing it right. No, I'm not. No, I need to see my grandson. But no, tradition. And like, so think. How does OKK treat his daughter-in-law Nene? What is his relationship with his son? How does OKK feel about the way he treats his son, his daughter-in-law, and his grandsons? What are his feelings about tradition? Father choosing the wife? He feels strongly about that, doesn't he? OKK. What are her feelings about her father-in-law? How does she feel about the way that he treats her? Okay, how does she feel? Think about the way she's treated by him. Does it upset her? At one point she does cry, but she still doesn't say anything bad, does she? So those are just some thoughts to help you along. But 3 conflicts. So 3 problems, 3 conflicts. Remember, part of the plot. We talked about the literary element. Plot at the beginning of the school year, conflicts, and very important. Okay? So think of 3 problems. Again, you can put a pause to the video and you'll go back over what I just read to you. Okay. When you're done with that, I'd like you to answer this. Can you name a city in any of these countries? Switzerland, Portugal, Poland, Japan, Australia. A city in any of them, whether it's the capital or just a small one. A city in any of these countries. Can you? All right. So please make sure I get your paragraph today. And if you do have questions, contact me. I'm here to help you, okay? So let me know if you have problems. And let's see if you can name a city in any of them. Or a city in each of them. 5 cities? Wow, it's great. Okay, I do wish you a wonderful day. Till next time. Bye-bye.